It is so weird every time one of these comes to an end. Kriegsspiels take on a life of their own. They go through life changes because they go for months. In fact, this one went for years. And when they end, you look back and you realize how much has changed, how many different events have interposed. I guess I'll put a date on this one and say it's the 22nd of July, 2024, as we're bringing this one to an end. Why is it over, and what were the results? Well, I'm pretty sure that's what you'd want to know. The answer pretty simply is that it's a French loss, but it's a narrow one. It's really closer to a draw. You'll remember that both sides had gathered right around this Bartenstein to Schippenbeil axis, and they had just created this crowd. You've got a huge passel of Russians up here. You've got you have the Prussians strung out on the road. You have all these Russians that were marching all the way from here to there. Finally, at last, our guy Sue advanced this way. Ney was watching here, waiting to go. And then you had these guys parked back here near Bischofstein. You had Davout, who you'll recall dropped out, and I've been botting for a while. He marched here as quickly as he could. In fact, I think when you take a look, they put 13 hours of mileage on the tires this day. And then good old Massena has been parked there waiting. Down here, finally, we have Tolstoy, who, as we know, for day upon day, hour upon hour, held off the better part of 3 French corps. And let it not be forgotten that the loyal and dutiful Gazan was almost to Allenstein, where he would have sent in his report when the hour broke. But the truth of it is we're at the end of the game. We are at the game's limit. And the way it was supposed to be determined is whoever destroys the most divisions wins. Well, that is a slight edge to the French. It is a slight edge to the French. They did destroy a few more divisions. But the truth of the matter is, from Napoleon's strategic perspective, he couldn't achieve the goals that he wanted to in June of 1807. The Russians, they sat on the defensive for a great deal of time, but they're intact. They're intact. They literally have lost no one. In fact, even the most brutally beaten units up here have come back. They're getting ready to return, and their morale is slowly climbing upwards. Even Somov, who's taken a real beating, is still ready to go. So if it's a mere count of numbers, yes, it's the French, but both in terms of the operational situation and certainly the strategic, it's a French defeat. It's a Russian win. So what do you say? In the end, it's a draw. But if I were judging it, I would just say, given Napoleon's goals and objectives, it has to go down as a French defeat. Now, a couple of tips of the cap. Number 1, to our guy Napoleon himself, who did one heck of a job. This map is so much bigger than the others that we've dealt with. We've talked about that as the months have gone on. It's so much bigger, and the control is so much trickier, and he stuck with it and tried to hang it together and tried to come up with a plan. But how do you not give the MVP to our guy Tolstoy, who, making them wonder, who first led, do you remember he led the merry chase all the way down? Oh my goodness, I'm getting an emergency alert. My goodness. There you go. That'll help you time it out. I got an emergency alert. But remember, he led this merry chase all the way here, and all the way there, and all the way there, pinning down those corps and making them wonder. Oh, it was so effective in terms of denying that strength to the French army. So always interesting, always exciting, always fun to watch. If you've come through first of all, let me give a huge shout out to the players that stuck around. It's been a long walk. I really appreciate you. Secondly, if you've stuck around watching the videos, you know I appreciate you, and I hope you found these interesting to watch. We will come back with another one at some point in the future. I love to run them. It won't be too terribly long. But in the meanwhile, thanks for the journey. Thanks for watching. And until we meet again, please take care of yourselves and one another. We will talk soon. Pause. Pause.
Good night. Ian.